ఇప్పుడు ఓకేనా? ఇప్పుడు అక్కడ ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది అంకుల్. అక్కడ ఆడియో ఆఫ్ చేసేయండి. ఓకే, సో ఈ ఎరా ఆఫ్ చాట్ జీటీపీ అక్కడ యూ హావ్ టు స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ ఆడియో. స్పీకర్ ఆఫ్ చేయండి. జస్ట్ మేక్ ఇట్ 0 అంతే. స్పీకర్ వాల్యూమ్ 0 చేయండి. దట్స్ ఇట్. ఓకే, ఓవర్. సో విత్ దిస్ ఎరా ఆఫ్ చాట్ జీపీటీ న్యూవర్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ అప్. హైప్, ఒక పక్క హైప్ ఉంది, ఓ చాట్ జీపీటీ వాడకపోతే నేనేమో అయిపోతున్నాను అని చెప్పేసి. వి కాల్ దిస్ as FOMO, ఫియర్ ఆఫ్ మిస్సింగ్ అవుట్. ఇట్ ఇస్ అ న్యూ బజ్ వర్డ్ ఇన్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్. వాడు చేస్తున్నాడు నేను చేయాలి, వాడు పడుతున్నాడు నేను పడాలి. ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ అ నైస్ ఫ్యాన్సీ కార్, ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ అ నైస్ ఫ్యాన్సీ మొబైల్ ఫోన్, వాట్ అబౌట్ మీ, రైట్? బట్ దట్ థింగ్ షుడ్ బి మేనేజ్డ్ ఎఫెక్టివ్లీ సైకలాజికల్, రైట్? అండ్ ఒక పక్క ఫియర్ ఉంది, ఒక పక్క క్రేజ్ ఉంది. రైట్? మెనీ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ ఆస్క్, సర్ డు యూ యూజ్ చాట్ జీపీటీ? ఇట్స్ లైక్ కొత్త ప్రోడక్ట్ వచ్చిందంటే హ్యావ్ యూ ట్రైడ్ ఇట్? ఇన్ఫాక్ట్ ఐ యూజ్ చాట్ జీపీటీ ఓన్లీ ఆఫ్టర్ 3 months after it was launched, because I just thought it was a buzzword. I didn't bother, but of course I said, okay, let me see what it is. Then I asked ChatGPT how to make biryani, my first question. It said you have to put chicken, you have to put mutton. I said, boss, I'm a vegetarian, give me my answer. He said, I am sorry, I gave a general answer, I'll now give specific answer. Right? So why I'm saying this is, and when you sign up to ChatGPT also, it will tell you, we are only a generalized solution provider. You ask ChatGPT on GST provision, it will tell whatever it feels like. And after that, it will say, please consult your tax advisor. Tax advisor only is asking means adi very issue, right? But I'm just giving you a context and an example, right? So ilanti scenarios lo, how do I get used to this sort of thing, and how do I get into our profession, right? So just basically I'll speak about ChatGPT extensively now. So legacy ChatGPT 3.5 undi, that is no longer there now. Now what we see is default ChatGPT 3.5. This is available free andariki undi. GPT-4 వచ్చి is a paid version. Okay, I think it's $20 per month, roughly మీకు 82 రూపీస్ కరెన్సీ పెట్టుకొని ఫారెక్స్ మార్కప్ అంతా పెట్టుకుంటే 1800 రూపీస్ per month అవ్వచ్చు. Lesser than what stipend I pay as per ICA guidelines, right? I think ICA guidelines is 2000 per month. This is much more effective, but it will solve your problem. First understand whether GPT-4 is required or GPT 3.5 is required, right? So GPT 3.5 lo advantage వచ్చి it will give you a general reasoning, but as the image says over here, reasoning is only 3 out of 5. Speed is 5 out of 5. Whereas GPT-4 lo chudandi, reasoning is 5 out of 5, meaning their concept of a reasoning is much higher, more particular, more specific, more contextual. That is an important thing. More contextual. Remember I told about natural language processing. I asking something and you trying to understand. Our reasoning capability which GPT-4 lo higher than GPT 3.5. I'll show it to you in some time, right? Of course, it got all these fancy features. Earlier GPT-3 lo 3125 words. Now you can ask 25,000 words. That means it's as good as a 2 or 3 page article, or maybe a little more than that. GPT-4 is more advanced. The model was trained on a larger text, achieve higher percentage, 82% with likely to provide inappropriate content, and they've done a lot of those filtering and rules. If I have to use a chat GPT or any of these technologies, it is based on a concept called prompt. PROMPT, prompt. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మన గూగుల్ సెర్చ్ చేసేప్పుడు what do? We type text, it searches based on that. In a AI, it is called as prompt or prompting. Em adugte, you will be able to get an answer. Example, go back to children, right? And I always believe they are the best teachers. They will be reciting some nursery rhyme or some syllabus or some Hindi poem, Kannada poem, Telugu poem. They are reciting something. Suddenly they will get stuck. What we as parents or teachers will do, our next paragraph, the one word we will suggest. Then the child remembers, and then they start telling. Yes or no? Experience with us also we do it. Kids also we have seen it. Correct? That is called prompt. You give one word, the system is able to understand the requirements and give you better things. That is called prompting.
Dramas or prompting.
Dramas lo nindi, classical example, because drama is such a long time, you can't memorize every dialogue. Akkademo prompting istu potam. Suppose you forget also, somebody behind that is speaking and then you speak the dialogue. The same way prompting is basically what starts off. So try, whenever you're prompting, a few things which you should keep in mind. What is the objective? An example, if you ask ChatGPT, write an engagement letter, it will write. But the purpose of engagement, in what context, you know that you're a chartered accountant and you're asking it. How does ChatGPT know you're a chartered accountant? Right? For a ChatGPT might presume that for an engineer I have to write and give. Right? So you need to understand. For example, me ChatGPT lo explain income tax law and chepte, it will talk about federal tax law. Did you tell? You told income tax law. ChatGPT was designed ekada? US law. So now you're right. Give me the key features of income tax versus give me the key features of Indian income tax. Are you getting the difference? So allow me radigarante, it will be much better. And do not ask ChatGPT any latest developments because it is not capable of identifying, because the ChatGPT has evolved only until September 2021. Whatever data is available as on September 2021, only to that extent it is available. So if a person died recently, ChatGPT will not know because it is a language model which requires it to be trained. But you ask it concept, engagement letter, you ask it to do, it will give you. But assuming CA Institute standard got amended and ask it based on the amended standard, it will not. But reverse change. Amended standard text undi kada, dani copy just paste change. Give me as per this and it will be able to do. You are getting the difference? So that means it is not enough if you know how, if you are using it, you should know how to use it. Are they most important? You might be using a car or you might be using a bike, but are you using it effectively? That's the question, right? And prompt, first time prompt just a correct answer expect chekandi. It's iterative. Keep on trying it, and always ask known questions ka answer certain. Something which you already know, ask it for you to see how it is responding based on different scenarios, right? So those are the specific things you can ask. What is the format of output? What are the things to avoid? Right? So you can talk about all these are fancy prompts which you can create. Checklist cheyochu, matrix cheyochu, RCM cheyochu, charts cheyochu, tables cheyochu. There are much more things which you can create, right? So let us see how that is actually done in a live setup. We have the ChatGPT, which I've just opened here. Now it has two options, GPT 3.5. And if you read GPT 3.5, it says our fastest model. And then GPT-4 on the model capable of generating with advanced reasoning. And it has an option called default or plugin. Don't go to plugin as of now. We'll go with 3.5. This is what most of you will be, right? Choosing the left hand side of navigation, I've just suppressed this. Last look in the choose there. We'll have one email ID. Email ID mentioned there, or your user ID patkonde. Sorry, I don't think it's getting zoomed here because it's a live stream. But anyways, I click on this icon, you can see four options. Three dots, click just there. You can see four options. It reads like this: my plan, custom instruction, settings, and beta. My plan will basically indicate paid or free. Go to this customs and settings instruction. A very nice option. The first question it says, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you? Ante, this is where context, and this is a feature which was added later. Original version of ChatGPT is. What is it that you want ChatGPT to know about you? Example, I want ChatGPT to know that I am a chartered accountant who is practicing in Vijayawada. My clients are so and so. My advice, whatever I ask you in this context, should be based upon this. Ala meer cheppeste, the response is what you will get will be contextual. In other words, it is like buying a machine and you setting up the configuration, right? So I will write here. What are the examples you should know? Where are you based? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies? What subjects you can talk about? What are some goals you have? It could be anything. For all you know, you can say ChatGPT, I am probably interested in losing weight. Give me a diet plan and a weight suggestion. It will give you. Whether it is good or bad, that is different. It is giving you based on your ask. So in this case, I will write I am a CA based out of Vijayawada. I am a CA based out of Vijayawada. Andhra Pradesh, India. I practice as a chartered accountant with firm name ABC and Co. My clients are mostly SME companies. How would you like ChatGPT to respond? Right? Now, you have given the context. Now you are asking how ChatGPT should be responding to you. So you can say, respond in a professional tone, answer to the point, right? And remain neutral. In case you want some opinions and other things, right? Remain neutral. You are giving it a set of instructions and saying, hey boss, nothing. Even if you don't configure this also, you can use that, right? You are saving this. Now I go click on GPT 3.5. I say, boss, new start. What is it that you want to use ChatGPT for? Now you're in September month. September month, what is the biggest thing? Right? Now you want to start a tax audit. Tax audit start just first. Before even checklist, you need to have an engagement letter. Right? Most of the time, our engagement letter comes sometimes in the towards the end. Why so much? Create one tax audit engagement letter. Right? So let's write it. I am doing tax audit of ABC hotel is, or just say draft an engagement letter, right? That's all I'm asking. So let's see what it responds. Here is your answer. It is basically used on your requirement. It is giving you all this information. Are you able to see this? And if you read it very carefully, it says your firm name is ABC and Co. ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది ABC and Co? One time the configuration చేశాను కదా, అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చేసి. Right? Now, if you see BSc hotel is appearing. Now you copy paste the address. Address of client is so and so. Your address is so and so. Update the engagement letter. Ostindi. Right? But look at this. We are pleased to perform an engagement to provide tax audit services to BSc hotel for the fiscal year ending. India fiscal year concept in the financial year. Now you understood context. Now the same thing I will ask GPT 4.5. Logical reasoning will be better. Right? Objective of engagement. Primary objective is to conduct a tax audit. Accordance with applicable provisions. Scope of engagement. Tax audit will include review of financial records, tax returns, accuracy, completeness. What is the responsibility, timeliness, confidentiality, fees, acceptance. Looks very, very generic, right? Now I will try to use the same thing with GPT-4. I'm doing tax audit of BSc hotel, draft an engagement letter. Now, if you want, you can add more customizations. Add relevant clauses of tax audit guidelines, or make the letter as per ICAI. I will say standard on audit and income tax requirements. And see, the response is slow. Are you able to see the difference? Right? Here it says you on your firm letterhead. Are you able to see the maturity in the answer? Engagement letter for tax audit services for the అక్కడేం వచ్చింది? You're able to understand the difference? అంటే చాట్ జీపీటీ 4 రీజనింగ్ కేపబిలిటీ is way more stronger అని చెప్పింది ఇందుకే. Right? Still, for you to get started, you can always try. And you can say, don't use financial year, use Indian context. అలా చెప్తే it will be able to do it. But 3-4 times చెప్పాలి ఇక్కడ one shot లో చేస్తుంది. Right? And look at this. It talks about scope of services, more or less same. Client, auditor responsibility. ఇక్కడ చూడండి. Annexure and form 3CD కూడా వచ్చింది. అక్కడ వచ్చిందా? Are you able to get it? You are getting more and more better. So this is what I call it as iterative. Now you got this. But మనకు వచ్చి tax audit లో you have some standard clauses. Or you want some standard requirements to put it in the engagement letter. ఆ content copy చేసి ఇక్కడ paste చేసుకోవచ్చు. Name of the firm, other things, then it will update it. Okay. So first engagement letter అయింది. Now you have to copy this. Okay. దీనిలో copy paste ఒక problem ఉంది. Right? I can simply go click on this entire information and copy, open a Word document. Again paste it. But anything you copy, it will come like this. ఎలా అవాయిడ్ చేసేది? Special. Paste లో వెళ్ళి paste special. Just say unformatted text. You're able to understand? I get so many emails which college students send me for internship or other job offers where they ask ChatGPT to write a letter. They copy that and paste it in the body of the email without even doing paste special. Right? And I get to know. I immediately tell that person, can you as a, my response is this, can you as a human being please write a letter instead of using ChatGPT? Then I will consider viewing your CV. Is that, sir, I'm sorry, sir. My name is Zonza. I'm looking for internship. This thing. Why are we getting so used to these sort of technologies? The problem is we want to impress that person. Be your original self. Kada? Anyways, coming back. Are we clear with this? ఇప్పుడు ఇదైంది. నెక్స్ట్ టైం చేస్తాం ట్యాక్స్ ఆడిట్ లో. It's a hotel business, so I need to do audit of A is hotel based scenario. I need to audit. B వచ్చి మన income tax requirements లో చేయాలి. So I will require a checklist, right? So let us ask it to prepare a checklist. From 3C and 3CB, 3CD. 3CD kada texture where we fill up all those things, right? So I then prepare a checklist for tax audit covering the key risks and the requirements of Form 3CD in the context of hotel business. Correct? Only if I give the context, you should be able to. Let's see what it is. It is saying certainly below is a simplified tax audit checklist. It gives you box also for you to put a tick mark. Right? So it's talking about various elements. Related party, GST compliance, depreciation. It talks about 3CD requirements because I told 3CD. Again, bear in mind, it will give you a very, very general high level idea. Once you get this, now you have to convert this into much more detailing what you want. Now, out of this, you like the part D alone. Right? So then we will say, give me more details. Give me more detailed checklist on part on form 3CD. Cover each clause. Cover each clause in a separate point. I'm typing on purpose with spelling mistakes, but it's still able to understand the context. Right? Detailed Form 3CD checklist for tax audit is again giving you class 1, class 2, class 3. You notice? సార్ ఇదంతా ఓకే సార్. ఇప్పుడు నేను ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చి ఇది కాపీ చేసి ఎక్సెల్ లో చేయాలంటే నేను ఫార్మాటింగ్ చేయాలి, అవునా కదా? Okay, whether you can click on the stop generating, it will stop in case you want to see. Sir, this is all fine. If I copy this, see, let's see how it looks like. Just take this, right? Copy, go back to my Word document. ఇలా వస్తుంది. లేదా నేను పేస్ట్ స్పెషల్ చేస్తే కూడా నాకు ఇలాగే వచ్చింది. దిస్ ఇస్ డిఫికల్ట్ ఫర్ మీ. ఐ వాంట్ ఇన్ a much easier format. So should I ask one article staff to format it? No, this is your article staff. ఏం చెప్తారు? Prepare in a table format. అంతే. Prepare in a table format. అక్కడ వచ్చింది చూడండి, క్లాజ్ వచ్చింది, డిస్క్రిప్షన్ వచ్చింది, యాక్షన్ ఐటమ్ వచ్చింది. Yes sir. ChatGPT, it will give you the formula. So no longer you need to remember formula, sir. Ask ChatGPT, will give you. Will give you. I'll show that to you. Okay. So below the table format is this thing. ఇక్కడ ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చి యాక్షన్ ఐటమ్స్ అండ్ నోట్స్ అని రాస్తుంది. It does not give you what are the checkpoints or you want requirements. So I will say for each of the above, add a column with documents required. For each of the above, add a column with documents required. అక్కడ ఉంచుడు. Right? It gives you more and more appropriate. Now the same thing, now you are changing the game. Instead of doing a tax audit, you are doing a internal audit. Right? Now in an internal audit, your entire analysis is based on risk. Right? So here, right, for the same client, help me with a internal audit checklist covering revenue and fixed asset in detail. Cover a broad range of risks. Right? It starts. Risk area, audit objective, checkpoint, document record. అన్నీ వచ్చేసి. Right? Advance booking, food revenue, discounts, commission, cancellation, refund, fixed assets, what is there? You can convert this into a risk control matrix. Convert above into risk control matrix. Right? Here's the risk control matrix. It's trying to do something. Risk area, objective, control activities, document. మీ RCM ready అయిపోయింది. Right? So if you thought that RCM preparation is something which clients will pay you money for, no. Client will automatically run RCM from ChatGPT. Right? Now your valuation is that the only risk or are there much more risk? Contextual. అర్థమవుతుందా? So that is what you have to define and explain. Right? Now this you have done. After this you need to prepare an audit report with findings. Right? Now we'll ask that. Prepare audit report as per standards on auditing. Draft 5 sample findings. Findings also I'm telling you, you'll identify. I'm just this for example. Audit report to the management. We have audited the accompanying financial statements, balance sheet, opinion, basis of opinion. Me entire audit report వచ్చేసి. Right? Sample findings. asset valuation, non-compliance, management responsibility, all the standard dialogue. Over. 3.5 తర్వాత ChatGPT 4.
September 2021 వచ్చి update అయిందని చెప్పారు.
అవును, even in GPT 4 also it is only this.
Latest one also.
ఎందుకు సార్ అంత టెన్షన్? ChatGPT అడుగుతుంది.
Citation is there is only 4 now, sir.
అది కొంచెం అడిషనల్ ఫీచర్స్ ఉంది. When was ChatGPT latest updated? When was ChatGPT latest updated? ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది కదా. My training data was updated in September 20. I have not received updates beyond that date. అంతే. Right? But if you are asking something new, what will happen, sir? No problem. In that case, మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? A new information ఏముందో కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేసి సమ్మరైజ్ చేయమని. It will give you a better result. There are 100 ways in which you can use it. The way you want to use, you have to decide. Clear? Now coming back to my old conversation. So now audit report is also now ready. Audit report ready అయింది, ఇది ready అయింది, right? Now what more you want, right? So now sir was asking, sir, can it help me prepare Excel formula? Right now you have to explain the data very clearly. You have to explain the problem statement very clearly. For example, in sheet 1, I have the following data. In sheet 1 of an or in sheet 1 of an Excel sheet, I have the following data. EMA, let us say invoice number, GSTN, invoice amount, date. In sheet 2, I have whatever, you can take GST 3B formula, whatever is there. I have the input tax register, creditor, what do you call that? Credit register extracted from GST website. In GST 2B, GST 2B or 3B? 2B. 2A, whatever number, ఏముంది రాసుకోండి సార్. Okay. Give me a formula to compare both. Right? Okay. So it says you have to use VLOOKUP. You can use index, you can use the match. It tells you this is the formula required. A2 sheet U2 like that column, match with that column. This is an alternate formula you can use. Again, track this formula. These are again few examples. Now you give more data, it will be able to identify. In game call, right? If you are asked, okay, how you are doing a granting a loan to a bank or a financial institution, what are the key parameters you have to consider? Or you are doing a bank audit, right? While doing bank audit, give me 5 analytical steps to be followed to check if a account can turn into NPA. I don't know how accurate it is, but let's say review payment history, examine account activity, assess financial ratios, check credit scores, correlate with economic indicators. These can give you high level ideas. Are you able to do this? Okay. Let's ask it a little complicated question. Give me an opinion on tax liability of GST in case of joint development agreement. Give me an opinion on tax liability. So here it says what is tax liability? Liability on the landowner, liability on the developer. It is giving some information, valuation of supply, input tax credit. But that doesn't mean that every search you do only use the help of ChatGPT. Right? The other means also. Given the complexities involved, it is critical to engage tax professionals. This general opinion should not be considered as legal or financial advice. I hope you're able to get it, right? So it goes only a particular stage. Beyond that, our intelligence will have to come into play. But can it help us solve so many things? The answer is yes. Now you decide where it is a problem, right? In fact, Today I'll tell you the biggest challenge is not to identify the solution, to understand the problem. If I don't even know what the problem is, forget solution. Right? That is why it is said in knowledge discovery, there's always 2 or 3 stages. One stage is I know what I know. Second maturity is I know what I don't know. Right? The third stage is I don't know what I know. That's a different scenario. Right? So between 2 and 3 quadrilateral evolution, you have to be very careful. Right? So that is where the mind shift keeps on changing. So once you get to know, that is why I keep on saying, sir, many of them keep on asking me, sir, give me this tool for this, give me that tool for this. Don't go based on the tool, go based on the problem which you have in your hand. A tool is a step to solve the problem, but me problem clear telipote, I cannot bring an elephant inside the room and then think what I need to do. Probably elephant was not required. I only required a dog to bark or a cat to play. Right? Because elephant looks fancy, I bought the elephant into room. Maintenance of that elephant is so expensive. Are you getting it? I found this tool very nice and catchy. I can use it. Sir, I found ChatGPT very good, sir. I will start using for everything ChatGPT. No, may not serve the purpose. For all you know, for example, if you ask me, sir, use ChatGPT for Companies Act audit, I would say it is not required for Companies Act audit report. 100 companies, same format, sir. Same difference, except the name. Maximum applicability of Caro, yes, no. Applicability of internal financial controls, yes and no. So that is a templatized audit where you have to fill the information. But to create the template for the first time, maybe you can use help of chat. That's a difference. But internal audit lo use unda chala undi, because your approach in an internal audit is very different from what you take for a statutory audit. Statutory audit complaints chustaru ante. But in internal audit, of course, statutory audit, because of an IFC and other things, risk also be factor. But in an internal audit, our focus on risk is very high. Every process we go to that level of detailing. Are you clear? Does it make sense? So that is where a ChatGPT era will be quite different. Any other examples of use cases or problems which you can think of? I think we spoke about this. Checklist, we spoke, metrics, we spoke, RCM, charts, so tables, all of these things are possible. Charts, it may not be able to give you so very detailed. It will give you a very basic level of information because it is not a 3-dimensional study. ChatGPT 5 is going to be a 3-dimensional. Images also it can generate, or it can give you some analysis. But I think they're deferring when to release that. The entire world is saying let's pause AI for some time because we don't have mechanisms to control that. So instead of releasing the river, right, and letting it destroy everybody, first let us fix a path where my river should flow. Then I'll think of releasing the dam or the water or whatever. Right. So that's the approach as of now people have taken. It will go slowly. Again, question is how many of them will make money out of this? How many of them will use that? All those questions are there, but it's a question of time.
What is the privacy and confidentiality of the names, sir?
So if you want privacy of that, you go to settings icon here. There's a feature called data controls, and there's something called chat history and training. In case you turn off this, whatever you give to ChatGPT will be with yourself. It will not go to ChatGPT researches. But it has its own implications. You will not be able to get much better results in certain times. Right? This is available for everybody.
Paid and unpaid versions.
Yes. Remember, privacy is a fundamental right. Just because I pay you, you will not get privacy. That's a wrong thing. Because you are paying me, I will give you privacy is a very wrong way of articulating.
If it is not saved, how iterations will be?
That is why it's a pro and a con. No. That is why they say many of the organizations today have blocked ChatGPT. Some organizations you have permitted to use ChatGPT, but you shall not take the sensitive information, confidential information, all of those and post. So as a matter of practice, what I do is I never post the client's information, or I've told my colleagues, never put anything on company information. Anything which you want in general, go ahead and search. Then put it in an Excel sheet and do whatever find and replace.
Even subscribed version also, even if it is not saved. It's not saved.
Later, it depends on an option. You have an option to save it or not save.
It's not saved. It's not saved.
If you disable that option, it will never get saved. Right? And you also have few other controls, beta features, data controls. We can go ahead and explore. Are you with me? Right? I can ask it, give me 5 YouTube videos for me to learn yoga. It will give you. But it will give based on its search. It may not be the best. Right? So it has its own this thing. You might say probably it might be biased. Maybe yes, sir. It could be biased. Right? Those are all the issues which we are coming across with AI based.
Bias is saying that we are not biased.
So best videos of Narasimhan Yalandu.
It will probably give, sir. Even I do not know. Let's see. Best YouTube videos of Narasimhan Langor. I don't know whether it will give me. Okay. I think my profile is just Narasimhan. Let's see. As of my last update, I don't have real update videos. I recommend conducting it directly on YouTube and other platforms. So it is saying that I have my own limitations. Right? Or maybe what you can do is you can say, okay, let's do a little differently, right? Give me the top viewed videos of, again, I do not know how will it work. Let us try. Again, it's saying the same thing, right? So in this information, I recommend you to directly search in this particular. Now, this is again in GPT-4. Earlier, there was one version in GPT-4 they have disabled that, right, where it was able to do some bit of a live search. It will take some time and it will give you the results. But it has its own challenges. Therefore, they have shifted that to Bing search and not over here, right? So technology keeps on changing.
What is the difference between both Bing and ChatGPT?
Bing is a browser, sir.
Browser.
Ante. Just a browser, right? It has some bit of a ChatGPT enabled search and other things. A real question, get complete answers. All that fancy stuff. It's a browser, right? You can right. So it is giving some top 3 or 4 videos, whatever this is. Something called digitizing professional practice. It is basically saying something. It's just a search again. What extent AI is being used is still under an evolution. Next is Notion. This is more as a notepad. It can also help you to write something. For example, ask AI to write about GST in 100 words. So AI will start writing here. Okay, so I think that this I'm not renewed to subscription, so yeah, right. So it is saying that this is basically you will have to pay, get your payment done. And in that case, it will give me that. Right? But it's basically an automated writing or scripting, whatever you can do. You can basically use it as a notepad and other things. Next is a Quillbot. Quillbot is basically a paraphrasing tool. You took something, you want to rephrase something and present it better, you can use it. Or you wanted to write something in your audit report, you wanted to make it feel better, right? You can probably take it. Or you can draft something in ChatGPT and paste it over here and ask it to rephrase it, right? So all these are fancy stuff which you can do. For example, yeah, you can do that. These are exclusively rephrasing tools, and you can choose various modes. Standard, you can choose fluency, you can choose formal, you can choose academic. It is also again possible in ChatGPT, you have to give the instructions, right? But this is an exclusive paraphrasing, specially built. It's like a knife which is used specific for a purpose and a generic purpose, right? Next is Grammarly. All these are subscriptions. All of them are subscriptions. No, all of them are available for basic version free. After that, paid. Next, Grammarly, again, my personal favorite. Suggest to install in your systems and the systems where your employees are sending emails, right? Automatically, grammar correction is assistant. So at least it will give you alert. Ikkaranta spelling mistakes on the ikkaranta wordings mistake on the. Please go ahead and correct it, right? So you can use this for again drafting. You can use it for a Word document and things like how in Word document you have a spell check. In a browser you don't have a spell check. You can use this. Next, barely.ai. Barely anything అని చెప్తాం కదా. It's barely anything, right? So it can read, write, and create faster. What you can do is you can create copy paste YouTube videos or summary. It can give you the crisp of it. It can create a summary, grammar correction, writing tool, right? It it can create images and basic stuff. Next is Avoma. This is how do I put it? It's a tool which you can enable along with your Google Meet or your Teams meeting. It will create you summary of your discussion. So you had a 1 or 2 hour conversation. It'll create the minutes and automatically, right? So it's basically AI assistance and collaboration reimagined, human-like meeting notes generated by AI, right? For every meeting, every function, every use case, it is able to do it. It can take 20 plus languages, so you need to be a little conscious whether suppose you are speaking something in Telugu, it may or may not understand. We'll have to see. Interesting questions. Does ChatGPT know Telugu? Have you tried it? Let's see. Can you draft a poem in Telugu? Let's see. I don't know. I can read Chanda Mama. No, allow, no, whatever, right? Right? It will go ahead and do it, right? It may or may not, whatever is there, right? Tell me a 2-line joke in Telugu. Don't know what it's going to tell. I don't know whether what it meant was a joke or whatever it is, but anyways, ChatGPT understands it to be a joke. It may be a PJ or whatever, right? And then, next, fireflies.ai. Again, it's similar to that of Avoma. And you can search, there are hundreds of tools available. So always understand what use case you want, and then you can identify solutions. Next, this is an interesting app. It's called durable.co. Any website, you can build it in 30 seconds. Yes, sir. Get started. What type of business are you building? What will you try? Chartered accountant customer. Accounting. Accounting industry. Next. Where is your business located? Whatever. Let's say Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. Next. Enter your business name. Add GPT accountants. Right? It takes a few seconds. It just took 3 information from me. It's building it. Testimonial also, it is only writing. It's free. I'll show you when it asks you for payment. Wait. So it's created on this thing. It's creating a map, address, whatever is there. It says your website is ready. Choose the ChatGPT accountants. Maximize your financial, professional, whatever, all those things. It has given testimonial also. What are the features? Meet the team members. Some basic details. Contact us, location. Website ready. Sir, నాకు ఈ కలర్ పట్టలేదు నా నెక్స్ట్ వేరే కలర్ కావాలి నో ప్రాబ్లం అప్పుడు పోయి ఇక్కడ క్లిక్ చేయండి see what it gives us. Customize and click చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ పేమెంట్ చేయండి దాని తర్వాత కస్టమైజేషన్ right. So these sort of products are called freemium model. With our clients also we can try freemium model. Somebody asks a question, one response చేయండి సెకండ్ రెస్పాన్స్ నో ప్రాబ్లం సార్ ఆఫీస్ రండి ఇక్కడ క్లయింట్ బుక్ చేసుకోండి ఇక్కడ టైం బుక్ చేసుకోండి ఇక్కడ పేమెంట్ బుక్ చేసుకోండి నాకు కన్సల్టేషన్. Or there's an app called calendly.com. It's not an Calendly, I think. You can book appointments. Free online appointment scheduling software. It's available for someone free. You can book 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So you can say, sir, any day between 10 to 12, whatever time but you have to sync up your calendar, right? And you can book it there. Anybody want, they can book an appointment and they can speak with you. And you can say, okay, fine, this appointment has to be paid or whatever is there. Only after the payment, the appointment will get fixed. You can do a lot of fancy stuff, sir. Next, finchat.io. This is believed to be ChatGPT for stock markets, where it can give you analysis, not which company you have to buy and sell. right? You cannot have a product like that, because in case you have a product like that, it will immediately get attract the eyes of SEBI and other things, because it is obviously not right. So here you can ask about various financial results, but currently only US based. If you ask Infosys, it will give you, because Infosys is listed in US also. You ask about TCS, it will not give you, because TCS is not listed in US, right? So you can ask, analyze latest sales results of Infosys, right? Analyze latest sales results for Infosys. It's taking some time. It will do some analysis and it will present it. Again, this using ChatGPT or other various GPT based technology. And let me also tell you, the GPT becomes a fundamental technology. On top of it, many of them can start using their own products. Like Google Maps becomes a fundamental product. Uber is using, Zomato is using, Ola is using, right? So anybody today wants to talk about transportation and logistics, he has to use Google Maps. Is Google Maps the only map? No. Much before Google Maps, we had what is called Map My India. Even though the company is running successfully, but predominantly Google Maps means Google. It's like a monopoly, right? So it says I couldn't find specific results. I'm able to identify some estimates. What are the profits? Some price target, some basic information it can get. Next is video.ai. It can basically make a larger video into smaller video into whatever fancy ones you want. Make short videos from long ones instantly. Right? You can make clippets and all those fancy stuff. Then you have formula bot for generating formulas in Excel. Again, basic and free version. This thing is there. I came across the latest thing. I think it's called Chat PDF. I think Chat PDF. Of a PDF file, it will summarize for you. Interesting thing. Let's see if I have something. This should be text. అది పోతే మీకు కొంచెం కష్టం అవుతుంది. So I have, let's say, some data privacy act. I'm just uploading something. Right? It is uploading. In the left hand side, you can see the provision. In right side, you have chat. Ask questions. Who is data fiduciary? Do you notice this? It is giving you results. According to Digital Data Protection Act, fiduciary is any person, including state, all those things, they've given the definition. And if we ask where is this, it will point out from where it is taken. Right? Worthy for wherever you deal with detailed PDFs. It's called chat PDF. And you can chat with this PDF. And you can also ask some other question. I'm asking you to summarize this into one page. So it has given me one page summary of this entire. Whether it covers everything, that is question of how it is covered, how it is summarized, right? So I'm just giving you an indication that there are tools like this, hundreds and hundreds of them. Question is only of you having the time to go ahead and explore them, right? So these are a few examples which I spoke of. For CS, few other tools. This is again not Indian context, but in general, accounting tools, some AI-enabled tools. Zoho is, I think, if you ask me, one of the made in India product which is affordable, and where ICA also has got an MOU. Absolutely makes sense. Zoho software is available for free for 3 years. Entire finance for ICA members, right? And if you want Zoho invoicing, that is available free for everybody. So go ahead and try that. For your own office, try Zoho. What is that? It's available for free. Give it a try. See, experience it. Then later on think whether you have to do that. So Zoho has what is called ZIA. I think Zoho Intelligent Assist. ZIA. Nice fancy name. Right? So that ZIA is be able to do all these fancy stuff. Right? Then this is analytics and AI coming together. MindBridge, again an international platform-based company. Few other accounting tools. Microsoft has got design ideas. In Microsoft, you can go click on design ideas, it can design. 70 to 80% of the content in my slides is always written by me. Sorry, content 100% is written by me. The design of my slides content is done by AI. I don't sit and design my slides. To find this slide very attractive, this slide very attractive, etc. There's an option called just click on design, it will go and design it. Right? Excel or Flash fill. I'm not speaking about Microsoft Office because yesterday it was covered. Right? This is a co-pilot feature which is coming in Microsoft Word. Right? Where this is say for example, draft a product announcement based on this particular document. So it will create one pager summary. So this is not yet launched. Microsoft is deferring this, but this is something which is going to come up. In Excel is my very interesting features. Co-pilot in Excel. Look at the beauty. You have a data. Analyze the squad business results if you say and summarize the trends. It can analyze it in beauty. Give me the breakdown. It will give you the breakdown. Help me visualize. It will create a visualization. I thought some bit of visualization yesterday was covered, right, in Excel. Analyze data lo నేను చెప్తే automatic. What will happen if reusable content is maintained the same prior year? Create a model with that. You create a model. It's going to the next level. If GPT and Excel come together, it is going to the next level, right? So your Excel itself can auto-analyze so many things. It can be used as a very powerful auditor. I'm just waiting for this release to come. I mean, I can go ahead and configure my settings and make this release applicable today also, but it will impact my Excel functioning. So I've not gone ahead of consciously and removed that, right? In ChatGPT we spoke of. How do I gear up for the challenge, right? First and foremost thing is identify your need. మీకు ఏం రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఫస్ట్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయండి. టూల్ ఉంది అని చెప్పి డోంట్ యూస్. Of course, Joe will use the tool so that you get accustomed to the tool. But what can the tool do? Because you have to match your left and your right. Your left is a tool, right is a problem, or vice versa, right? You need to bring them together to solve the problem. Explore and research. There are a lot of solutions available. Don't think this is only my best solution, right? Test before you commit it. Anything you do, please test it before you give a commitment. Develop a small SOP, standard operating procedure. And last, you can measure the results. Are you with me? Right? So that's basically how you approach this entire story. In our own office, what are the activities which you can automate? This is just one small illustration. Payroll, expense management, timesheet, invoice data reconciliation, document management, task allocation, rolling out checklist, periodical backup. Now in Gmail itself, there are so many AI enabled features. Your email also can be today already your email while you're typing, it is only completing the sentence. Right? Based on the context, it is only giving you 3-4 responses. Yes, sir, no, can't say na, right? It's becoming more and more, going to become more and more robust. Right? So my key statement which I would like to mention is, don't see technology as a problem. Because those who see the problem are those who loses. Because the biggest of the problems will give you biggest of opportunities. So question is, how you want to get through and go to the next level, right? So that's what I wanted to cover on substantial portion on AI, because that is something which we can use in our practical life, right? Happy to take 1 or 2 questions. Then I'll just give you a very short overview about blockchain and how it is being used, and then we could break it.
It is like office automation. How do you suggest it?
So each area is different, sir. For example, payroll and expense management. First, understand name requirement of how are you processing your salary payment. Today, traditional model of salary payment is 3 steps. First, you require an attendance capturing software. Second, you require payroll processing software. Third, you require payment software. Traditional method ఏమే అటెండెన్స్ రిజిస్టర్ లో నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ అబ్సెంట్ ప్రెసెంట్ కన్ఫర్మ్ చేసుకుంటారు. అది కన్ఫర్మ్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తారో, నేను ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ వెళ్ళి నంబర్ ఆఫ్ డేస్ వేసి క్యాల్కులేట్ చేయాలి. క్యాల్కులేట్ చేసి అమౌంట్ వస్తుంది. అమౌంట్ వచ్చి బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ పోర్టల్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలి. ఓపెన్ చేసి ఈ పర్సన్ కు 10,000 ఈ పర్సన్ కు 15,000 ఈ పర్సన్ కు 30,000. దట్ ఇస్ ద ట్రెడిషనల్ మోడల్. ఇంకా ట్రెడిషనల్ పోవాలంటే చెక్స్ రాసుకున్నాం. I'm not talking about check because I think 99% we have all stopped using check. Very rarely we still use anyways. Now this entire thing, if you have to disrupt, what you need to do, I'm just giving one example. మీరు లాజికల్ గా ఎట్లా థింక్ చేయొచ్చు. So now my first problem is I need to capture the attendance. How do I capture the attendance? You could have a biometric, you could have an attendance system. It depends again a scenario to scenario, right? First. Second, sir, my staff are working in client side. My staff are working in office. They are not coming to punch it. So then there are softwares available where you can say start time and end time, start, end. So that time will be considered for attendance. So my first problem is. Second problem, how do I bring this data into my Excel software for calculating salary or payroll software? For that you need to have a payroll software. Let's say Zoho Books. Zoho Books, Great HR. All these softwares have integration with whatever is their fundamental payroll or attendance systems. Alla lepothe they will say please upload a file, you have to sit and upload. The third step process అయిన తర్వాత పేమెంట్ చేయాలా, you have to download a file, you go to your bank statement or you go to your bank, bulk upload and make upload. Can I club all the three together as one? Possible, some softwares are available. But the problem is ఈ payroll నుంచి బ్యాంకు కాస్త డెల్టా ఉంది. Payroll కు బ్యాంకు ఏం డెల్టా అంటే your bank account is with different, your payroll is processing different. So how will the bank get to know to whom all you have to pay? You're getting my problem statement? So that is a problem which you have to solve. Some of the companies have solved it. For example, Razorpay payroll. Right? So this is the Razorpay payroll software. Payroll software with automated compliance for every business. Calculate payroll and disburse salary in few clicks. Payroll automates payments and filings of complaints such as TDS, PF, ESI also. You go to the software, enroll your employees. I'm just giving an example. Inka alternatives undachu. Go to the software, create an employee history, salary details vendi, process payment చేస్తే పేమెంట్ ప్రాసెస్ అవుతుంది, ట్యాక్స్ ఆటోమేటిక్ క్యాల్కులేషన్ అవుతుంది, ఎంత ట్యాక్స్ డైరెక్ట్ చేయాలా, ఎంత పీటీ పే చేయాలా, ఎంత పిఎఫ్ పే చేయాలా, ఎంత ఈఎస్ఐ పే చేయాలా, ఆటోమేటిక్ క్యాల్కులేషన్ అవుతుంది. యూ హావ్ టు గో అండ్ ఎనేబుల్ దట్ ఫీచర్స్. అయిందా? Then it says for 10 employees this is the payout. Right? Now it goes to the next level. They have a wallet. You recharge that wallet and execute payment, salary payment. For me, it takes me 5 minutes to process my salary because we use this. I've kept a cutoff. 25th of the month or 28th of the month, attendance update chala. I send one reminder to my staff. Right? Attendance update hotundi. In case they have not done, I roughly know who is not done. In case there is a major issue while processing, I'll just go through the check. Process the payroll 1 day before. I know how much is my cash flow required. 1 day before, not even 1 day. Morning, I transfer to their wallet. Within 1 hour, it will get reflected. Execute them. Right? I used to take at least about 30 minutes for processing salary. 30 minutes to 40 minutes, sometimes even 1 hour. Why? That bank portal will not work, error vastundi. And for every payment, I have to enter OTP. Adam bada. And this I use it. How much do they charge? They charge me per employee 10 rupees or 20 rupees or 30 rupees, whatever. I felt it was good enough to use it. ఇప్పుడు కాస్త rates increase అయింది. That's a different part of story.
Companies, not for consultants.
Anybody can use it.
Employee count ఎంత?
I think they have forever free. See what all features they have. They have HR management, leave management, one-click payroll processing, automated statutory. I've seen companies with 1,000 employees also they using. But you have to see what is the payment and cost. How much does Razorpay cost? Let us see what they say. Opening. I think that link is not working. Here can I pricing on car. Let's price it. 85 rupees per employee per month. And they also have free. Right? Free maximum employee limit is 100. So I think I don't see any CF office having more than 100 employees. If they have more than 100 employees, they can be affordable. It depends. It depends. No, that is for free.
Okay.
Free version is up to 100. And they say minimum, if you go for the paid, minimum billing is 2,500. Or see, at the end of the day, see how much any technology is giving you benefit. If it is saving 3 hours of your time, that is worth enough. Because in the 3 hours you use it productively, you will be able to earn that much. Or forget that you can spend time with your family. Time is limited. All of us get the same 8 hours. Or whatever, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever. How much you want to do with that is left up to you. Right? Both the school of thoughts are right. If father thought that I will walk 10 kilometers to save 10 rupees of bus fare, that is also right. The son thinks that I will pay 10 rupees to a bus or an auto to save that 1 hour. That is also right. It depends at the rate at which things are changing. Right? At the time when father was there, time was abundant. Money was lesser. Today, money is available. Time is less. So, the amount of money, if a solution is able to save your time, I think you have to pay for it. That's the way in which you have to evaluate. That's the thought process which I keep in my mind before I start any software. Otherwise, why will anybody buy a software? Oh, you I can do it manually. You can do it. Forever you'll be doing that only. See, because please understand, a small proprietary concerns, partnerships, or small organization, at least 10 to 20% or sometimes even 30% of our time goes a lot of in admin work. Admin work could be following with employee, following with this thing, following with the payments, anything. Now, can you bring that down to, see, you cannot avoid it. If you avoid it, means you have to put it on somebody's head. And who is that somebody? Is that somebody trustable or not? That was the question, sir. Open for questions. I'll give you a quick overview about blockchain and then we can break for lunch. The reason I don't speak too much about blockchain is blockchain to me is still evolving. Randodi, it is technology with very few of them will probably start adopting. Use cases future laravaju. As I see now, the transition which happened in a AI, which is very fast and quick, is not something which will happen in blockchain. Because in blockchain, you require a community. Right? I'll explain through that. Before I head into that, any other questions? AI Gurinji. Sir? Yes, sir. It's an open source technology. Anybody want, they can use it. But the way in which it is used is changing.
Beneath there was an option of citations.
Or
What exactly is?
ఎక్కడి నుంచి పికప్ చేసిందంటే రెఫరెన్సెస్
ఆ సైట్
మీరు అంత లెవెల్ వెళ్ళిపోతే కష్టం సార్. అది కేస్ ఫర్ చాట్ జీపీటీ దట్ ఇస్ ద కేస్ లా. I'll tell you how technology will evolve, right? So Taxman is now considering how it can use chat GPT embedded into them. So what happens then? They will be able to give you better tax advice based on your requirement. Today, if you go to any of the Taxman searches, journals, e-journal, you give certain keywords, it searches based on keywords. Nobody searches based on context. If I use a chat GPT based system, right, and as I said, GPT is an open source. Right, tomorrow you can use it to program your own this thing. You have to pay a API fee or something to chat GPT. Right? So then what happens? Your solution will be GPT powered. And will be able to solve those problems. Okay. Quickly moving to this new technology called blockchain, or an interesting word called blockchain. Sir, in a layman's language, block and a chain, 2 words. Block is a box, you understand. That box has got 3 things. Data. It has got what is called encrypted information, popularly called as hash. It has got data and it has got encrypted information, also called as hash. and the third reference to a previous block. And imagine one block is there. How do I know this block where it will fit in the chain? Unless I know what is my predecessor block. So this block, assuming this is a block, it says this block previous reference is 38. So I have to go where 38 is and fix it. Right? Now you must be wondering, sir, why is it making a lot of noise? It is making a lot of noise because the data, if it has to go to a block, goes through a validation rule. What is that validation rule? More than 1 or 2 persons have to accept it, only then it will go inside. Let's take an example. Your GST scenario. Today, input tax credit is available only if it's available in the website. But many of them forget to upload all those things. So imagine the technology slightly changes and it is going to happen. If not now, in 3 years it will happen. The technology slightly changes. What I'm going to do, the moment I send you an invoice, you accept it. I'm sending an invoice, you accept it. The fact that I'm sending you is my consent. The fact that you are accepting is you are giving your consent, and the agreement entered. Now, neither you nor the department, nobody can dispute about this particular invoice, input tax credit, unless it is ineligible input tax credit. That's the case. So I am sending you, you are accepting it. So by default, input tax credit will get come. This is a simple concept based on which blockchain technology works. Example 2. You have 4 people who are going on, 4 or 5 of your friends are going for a trip. Now, because all of you are coming from different places and other things, or you didn't want the financial burden to come on one person, you said, okay, one person books flight, one person books hotel, one person books food, one person books entertainment, and all that adjust. So what you do, one option is you put all the money into one fellow's account and ask that fellow to make payment. Other option is throughout the trip, each person keeps on incurring expenses. You share the expense and make the payment. That's all typically you do. But how do I know whatever expense you're paying is authorized payment or unauthorized payment? So మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు, వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోండి. వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకొని మీ ఏం స్పెండ్ చేస్తారో యూ పుట్ ఇట్ దర్. There 4 people have to give thumbs up. So you spend some money, 4 people gave a thumbs up, and therefore the transaction is approved. Imagine the same thing, instead of a WhatsApp, it was a software where after those 4 people approved, nobody can reverse it. After 4 people approved, nobody can reverse. Now you can say, sir, why every transaction 4 people approved, sir? What if the 4th person is not available? Those are practical difficulties. We'll come to that. So there is a transaction which has taken place where somebody has approved it. And by virtue of that somebody approving it, there is not going to be any further dispute. And because it is approved, I ensure that the transaction is encrypted in such a way nobody can reverse engineer to change the data. And this data is put inside a block. This block is called a box. This block, if I have a series of such blocks, it becomes a blockchain. Right? So you have to put it this way. I have requested a transaction. A transaction is broadcasted to a peer-to-peer network. Why is it called a peer-to-peer? The fundamental legacy technology, it works on a distributed, it works on a client-server model. The server used to do the majority heavy lifting. Client used to only ask the request or download it. Who did this heavy lifting? Server used to do. You're getting the difference here? So here the difference is the transaction is broadcasted amongst all the 4 people in this example. So when I send it to all 4 people, what they're expected to do? Accept or reject. If they accept the transaction, great. If they reject the transaction will not proceed further. Until unless all 4, I can define the rule. I can say 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 5 out of 4, whatever. Sorry, 4 out of 4, right? Whatever I can define. Now, the moment this is broadcasted to them, all of them have accepted. We say consensus. I'm giving you a conceptual view. Technology-wise, it could change, right? A verified transaction could be a record, a contract, a transaction, anything. The moment once it is verified, it becomes a block. And that gets added to a series of blocks. And hence blockchain. Right? This is the fundamentals of technology. Now you must be saying, sir, how is it different from the existing articulations or existing scenarios? Right? Understanding the existing scenario, this consensus is significantly changing. In the existing scenario, consensus is significantly changing. Ante, today, every transaction gets approved by so many people? No. You must be thinking, sir, if every transaction is to be approved by so many people, then what is the point of performing a transaction? There are some transactions where you require some approvals. To give an example, what is Vijayawada famous for? Most favorite thing in Vijayawada, or most favorite thing in Vijayawada? Food, food the
Yes.
mangoes petkondi. I'll just take an example of mangoes. Vijayawada is famous for mangoes. Now, I know in Bangalore or I know in United States of America, there is one road where all Andhra people are staying. I buy mangoes in USA and sell it to all the Andhra people. Say this is Vijayawada mango. And because my accent is as though I am from Vijayawada, because of my Telugu, they believe, oh, baboy, Vijayawada's mango వచ్చింది, let's buy. నేను ఏం చేస్తాను, నార్మల్ మ్యాంగో $1 అంటే నీకు $2 పెట్టి. Right? Boss, Vijayawada mango, everybody will buy it. How will you prove that this is Vijayawada mango? And today the element of trust is via belief. The element of trust is via signed financial statements. The element of trust is via chartered accountant certificate. The element of trust is via some recognized certificate from the government. But there could be lapses in the entire system. In a blockchain based world, that entire trust deficit is removed. Because at every stage, I have what is called as an authentication and validation. To give an example, if I say this is mango from Vijayawada, next question is prove it. Obviously, you cannot take me to Vijayawada and come. But you can show the history of how the mango has moved from Vijayawada to how. There is a farm in Vijayawada. The moment he has packed this mango, the crater or that box is scanned along with IP address and details. First level of trust vachinda. Second, that shipment from Vijayawada goes to Visakhapatnam port or Visakhapatnam flight, whatever, or Vijayawada flight, whatever. Akkadi nunchi it is traveled via this airline to this place. It is reached somewhere in America, it is reached East Coast, West Coast, and then it reaches you. Will you believe that? Yes. Now you can say, sir, what if that can be tampered? That is different. Everything in life can be tampered, sir. To avoid the tampering only, we say this consensus is based on a peer-to-peer network. Once it is pushed into a transaction, it forever is encrypted, saved, nobody can modify. If it is tampered, it is not blockchain. Are you getting this? Right? Let's take another example of UDIN. Why UDIN came into picture? Major reason was banks were getting some certificate, but we did not know whether that certificate was signed by CA. Bank was one large use case. And as a bank, financial institutions, loan processing, all these people. So to mitigate the trust deficit, we brought in what? UDIN. How does UDIN work? A CA has to be active member of ICA records. First account validation in the. And who is UDIN maintained by? Is it maintained by third party? No, it is maintained by the CA institute itself. Second level of trust vachinda. Third, can any CA randomly go in there? No, he should have a username and password, and he should be a CA in practice. Third level of trust vachinda. Then every transaction of OTP vastinda CA ko. It's another matter. Your phone is with your article stuff. Adi very issue. I will not go into those things. But at least of validation aindada. Your net worth or yedo okati kani. Then you're validating all this information. It is gone there. OTP is generated. That unit numbers. Next, somebody wants to verify that number. Is it possible? Yes. He has to go to that ICA website. He has to enter the details. Only difference, whoever is validating, I need to know whether that person who is validating is a human or a robot. To that extent, I will ask that fellow to give me OTP or the purpose. you will get one intimation that once the person is validated or some person is validated, verified, yes or no? Do you get trust in the system? The answer is yes. So tomorrow, if UDIN can be subject to some modification, etc., then you feel, oh, there is a problem. But assuming UDIN is only one document upload, it does not require a digital trail significantly. Right? Wherever there are multiple parties coming together and there is a confusion, there is a loss of trust, to mitigate that, blockchain will work. I'll give another example. Land records. Every fellow says this land is mine. That is what is property dispute, no? Suddenly some fellow forged document of property transfer. So how do I know whose property it is? Use it through a digitized method. Land records need digitized. Assuming a 30-40 site to be, or 1 cent, I don't know what your measurement is here. What do you measure? You call it 30-40 or you call square yards? Yeah, square yards. Okay. So assume it's a square yard measurement because each state has its own perspective, right? Tamil Nadu is measured in cents, square feet cents. In places like Bangalore, we measure, we normally say square feet. Again, if you go to the remote part of Karnataka, the measurement is different. At the end of the day, it's a piece of land. So let's say the smallest divisible piece of land, 30-40 side per foot, or square feet of 10 square feet is one measurable piece of land. That is one digital record. So in the Google map or in your Vijayawada map or in this particular whatever road, there are 100 such sites available. Each site I identify against one person. And every site will have a unique ID. Every site will have a unique ID. That unique ID, whatever we are speaking of, will have an entire history of whom it has been transferred, how it has been. The National Payment Corporation of India has devised something which is very similar to that. It's called CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. Last year they launched it in November 2022 and December 2022 they launched this. November they opened it for wholesale. December they launched it for retail. Today you can have your own Indian rupee digital currency. It's not cryptocurrency, it is a digital currency. Fundamental logic of a cryptocurrency. See, blockchain, many of them think blockchain means cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is one use case of a blockchain. Ante internet can you send only emails? One of the things you can do with internet is email. Alage, one of the things which you can do with blockchain is cryptocurrency. There are so many things which you can do. Are you getting the logic? What is a blockchain? Right? So it works on this particular transaction to transaction validation. Right? So as I told you, there is a hash.
Digital currency also blockchain used.
In digital currency, blockchain has to be used. Without blockchain, it will not work. So I'll tell you how the Indian system works. Let's say I have 5 digital currencies. The Indian CBDC. There are banks which you can do it. There are banks which you can go ahead and do it. You can buy 5 digital currencies. 5 digital currencies, you give a denomination. 5 rupees or 1 rupee. Normally in India, 1 rupee is that. Paisa is not there, only 1 rupee based. Right? Because, so if you have 5 rupees, 5 digital currency, every digital currency, assume it to be 5 coins. If I transfer 1 rupee to him, 1 rupee to sir, 1 rupee to sir, and 1 rupee to sir, and 1 rupee to madam, every 5 coins will have a trail of those people. You transfer it to another 100 people, meaning 100 people in the chain. You should be able to catch it. There was some movie, in Telugu, I think, Megastar Chiranjeevi, he said, 3 people after 3 people further. That entire trail, Stalin, I don't think. The entire trail you can catch hold of. But you might imagining, in a physical currency also, I'll have so much trail. No. If I give it to you, after that, I will not get to know. See, the maximum I can get to know is that note number, when it is originally printed from RBI, from that which ATM, which bank it has got. After that, it's very difficult. In this digital currency, because it is wallet to wallet transfer, entire trail will be there. Then you will ask me one question. So, if 1 rupee is transferred to 1 billion people, will it have the trail? It will have the trail. So don't you think for that 1 rupee I'm incurring 100 crores for maintaining that? Unfortunately, yes, that is where the problem with blockchains. The cost of maintenance is very high. And that is why very specialized scenario only they use it. Where do they use it? Example, they use it in diamond industry. Why? Sir, how do I know that the diamond is original or fake? Certain countries in Africa are prohibited from doing diamond mining. Why? It's called as black diamond. Because they deploy child labor, they abuse their resources and then get it. That is for in the international market, black diamond is banned. There could still some people be selling that. So if you go to DBS, which is one of the famous diamond manufacturing and marketing company, they are able to, through their blockchain, give you the entire trail of from where the diamond came to how it is coming to your hand. Yella, blockchain. Walmart used this technology. ఏమైంది Walmart లో Walmart, I think all of you are aware, right? Flipkart's parent company. In US, it's a very big retail chain, very huge retail chain. In India, they acquired Flipkart, and that's how they got the entry into it. Walmart లో ఏం ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే lettuce, akura, right? Lettuce is an leaf. In India, not very popular because we have other like manak palak vaadtamo. There's so many other greens we use. America though, lettuce is a very popular because it's a very common ingredient in their sandwiches and their basic cuisine. But the problem with lettuce is it can cause infection or it is an allergent and cheptaru. If you see some of these products also you buy, behind that are allergent, alert and rasunta. Lettuce can cause allergies. And the problem with lettuce, it is growing on the ground. Kada? So if one lettuce gets infected, possibly everything gets infected. He bought lettuce. He made a sandwich. He got affected. He was admitted to hospital. He filed a case against Walmart, asking for the XYZ million compensation. Walmart eventually paid. But the problem was not Walmart making the payment. The Walmart was not able to identify lettuce ekkadi nunchi vachindi. They have a green leaf. If a green leaf ekkadi nunchi vachindi, how do I get to know? Why? Why should they get to know? So that they stop preventing this from happening. Or tomorrow if somebody complains, I can say, boss, this entire product go and remove it. If it is a phone, if it is a bottle, if it is a laptop, I will have manufacturing date, batch number, serial number. So with that batch number, I can identify what date, what it is manufactured. For lettuce, how do I identify? For mango, how do I identify? That is when Walmart and IBM came together. They developed what is called food chain on blockchain. It's called itself as a food chain. It's a proprietary thing which only IBM developed only for Walmart, where every time the lettuce is lifted from that farm and put them together, at that stage an IoT sensor is placed. Only after that IoT sensor is scanned, it will be permitted to put in the truck. Our truck has an IoT sensor. So from the origin till the distribution channel, they were able to catch hold of. Source to destination. Now tomorrow, is there an audit trail, sir? This is only audit trail, sir. Agree? Can I get trust in the system? The answer is yes. Right? Now let us say hypothetically one particular region of America or place where they were producing is affected by some contamination. Can I catch hold where all it is? Yes. Remove that and discard over. Agree? Now another example which they bought this for poultry products. They brought it for strawberry. Strawberry is one of these other items which has got a lot of allergens. Berries tinte ఒకసారి గొంతు ఉబ్బిపోతుంది. Right? For example, you have this under the ground roots. That also has this problem. For example, చామగడ్డ అని చెప్తారు కదా, టాపియోకా ఏమో చామగడ్డ. So that is under the ground. అది ఒక్కొక్కసారి తింటే మన గొంతులో you'll find it very weird. Yam has some similar feature. Now why am I telling all this? They identified which projects is required, which is. They didn't implement blockchain for entire Walmart. If they implement, it doesn't serve the purpose. Canned product, I can get to know where it is coming. Packaged product I can get to know. But until such stage I want to get to know, use it. Now today, if you have to identify the trace from the first step to the last step, the only industry which did it very proactively was pharmacy industry. Enduko? Sir, pharmacy industry has to have a trail. Tomorrow, if some of their drug gets, malaligned or not possible to use it, they have to recall that. Then car industry did it. Toyota recalled 200 cars. They should know where all the cars are gone because of a product defect. But is it required in every industry? Depends. Diamond industry not required, but for customers trust it is required. So blockchain will work in a scenario where based on the trust requirement, this will solve the problem. Right? So example of what is called hashing. If I type the word dosa, this is a 256-bit hash for that word, bigger than the dosa. ఇదే నేను ఈ దోశలో కాస్త చేంజ్ చేసి దీన్ని స్మాల్ చేశాను హ్యాష్ రిజల్ట్ చూడండి ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ ద సేమ్ ఇప్పుడు ఈ దోశలో నేను ఏం యాడ్ చేస్తాను మసాలా యాడ్ చేస్తాను hash result is the same hash result length is the same the number keeps on changing so therefore imagine this hash result was sitting inside the block there is no possibility of you manipulating so therefore you get that inherent trust very clear it works on these 5 concepts one is cryptography the concept of hashing is nothing but cryptography రెండోది peer-to-peer network I told you 4 friends 5 friends nobody is greater than the other one person on par with the other consensus how do I agree నేను ఒప్పుకొని మీరు ఒప్పుకోవాల్సిన ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ రూల్ ఏంటి నెక్స్ట్ ఒక లెడ్జర్ ఉండాలి రికార్డ్ చైన్ అండ్ వాలిడేషన్ రూల్స్ ఉంటాయి సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద 5 essential things blockchain runs on. Now let's talk about certain use cases. The first concept is a public and a private blockchain. A public blockchain is where anybody and everybody want they can join. Bitcoin is a public blockchain. Anybody wants they can do. Anybody wants you can validate it. You will get the entire history. Then why government is saying Bitcoin should be banned? You can create one account, but how do I know that account belongs to you? KYC cheskara. See, today also I can go to a bank and open the account and perform transactions. I can do millions of transactions and disappear from the system. Why KYC is mandatory, sir? Because of an unfortunate anti-money laundering, where dirty money is put into the channel. How do I know who this account belongs to? Edo operation chestunnaru. Correct? In Bitcoin, that is the same problem today. I do not know who that account belongs to and they're doing it. The same Bitcoin you bring KYC and ask them to do. No problem. But half the people, 90% of the people who wants to do in Bitcoin, they don't want to do KYC. Because it may be some illegitimate source. I am not against Bitcoin. I'm against the unfortunate misuse of Bitcoin. Please understand. Right? So left hand side everything public. How is misuse? Japan sir. I can do terrorist funding also with that. No? Who is transferring to whom? Clue. But most of the cyber attacks, all the money is asked in Bitcoin. Ransomware. Madam Jupner. Ransomware and it's a software which will kidnap your data and ask you for ransom. So it is like saying you have to go inside your house. Our kids do that now. You have to go inside the house. Only you bring me chocolate, I'll be allowing you inside the house. Or unless you do this, I will not do anything else. Yes or no? That is done on a jovial note. But in a serious kidnap affair, what happens? You pay me money, you take your product back or your person back. In a ransomware, you pay me money, I'll give you back your data. Otherwise, your own thing you cannot use. Right? So this is our left one. What you see is a public blockchain. The right hand side, what you see is a private blockchain. Private blockchain, my dear friends, is something called as permissioned blockchain. Whereas the left hand side, what you see, permission. Public blockchain is a permissionless and a permission akkalles. Whereas right side, permission untene avutundi. You are getting the difference? So if it is a permissioned blockchain, that's why you can see one lock symbol there everywhere. You are checking whether that fellow can come into your system or not. Now Walmart blockchain is exclusively for Walmart, so it comes a permission. Mana CS scope akkada permissioned blockchain lo untindi. Bank may have its own blockchain, right? Wait for another 2 to 3 years, the cost of you doing an international transfer will come down very significantly. Very high level prototypes and products are available. If I have to transfer from my State Bank of India, my Axis Bank, my Canara Bank, my whatever bank to an international bank, it is not so very easy. First, my bank have to transfer it to intimate to my Forex branch. My Forex branch has to intimate it to the international recognition branch. International recognition bank has to give the intimation to Swift Intimation Bank. A Swift Intimation Bank, whichever is there, reverse cycle akkada work over. By the time this happens, it takes almost 1 to 2 weeks, sometimes even 1 or 2 months. That is why if that fellow has, let us say, Citibank, I have Citibank, it is easier. But can you expect everybody to your trader on the other end and you to have the same bank? Chala kashtam. You getting the difference? So this, if I have to streamline it, there are a lot of companies who are working on the permissioned blockchain system. Where I am into the blockchain system, you are into the blockchain system, it is validated, immediately fund transfer. Oh, settlement asal. Had UPI not come into picture, Indian payments would have gone through this permission system. But we, way ahead of a blockchain system, we said it is not feasible. We came up with a much better technology, which is scalable. And today, India's UPI is accessible for so many other countries. In Dubai, you can make a UPI payment. Not just Dubai, I think 8 or 10 countries you can make. Right? I think I'll not get into too much of details. Next is an element of smart contract. This is the best use case of a blockchain, where a contract is written on a blockchain which can auto execute. Auto execute. You can define a time, you can define a scenario. At this time, at this place, it will execute and execute. For example, you have rendered the audit, you have sent the invoice, within 15 days, the payment will get auto executed. If that has to happen, your client and you have to be in the same blockchain system. And my contract should be accepted by him. Right? And next is very interesting. On the 15th day, he should have bank balance also. If he does not have bank balance, how will the payment get executed? So there are a lot of nuances which is coming. Right? So this is an EXE. You can understand smart contracts is like an EXE payment. Dot executable file. These are all the various fancy things which is coming in the crypto world. Smart contracts, securities, record keeping, digital currency, all of those are there. Worthy to go ahead and just get an idea about it. Voting can happen on a smart contract. So I know that this person only has voted, nobody else has voted. Right? So use cases are purely depend upon the problem state. But in general, if there is a requirement for a technology which can solve the reconciliation problem, which can solve the problem of trust deficit, that is this. So if a problem has to be fit for a blockchain, A, there should be multiple players. B, an element of trust should be there. C, there should be an element of digitization of that product. Because you may have a physical product, but that product should be representable in a digital form. In more scenarios, then it is probably a case which is fit for evaluating elements of blockchain. I think the other element in a blockchain is a concept called oracle. Oracle is an external party who is not in the blockchain, but who converts an external transaction into a blockchain transaction. Example, you developed a blockchain for insurance contract. The moment accident takes place, claim should take place within 3 hours or 5 hours or whatever. But how do I know that accident, if it is recorded? In India, you require to file an FIR, first information. Now, the poll today, if an FIR is registered, the insurance sends an agent over there, obtains the copy of the FIR, reviews that, somebody certifies it, only then it processes. Now, through a blockchain setup, can I ask the police to upload in my website? No, police will not agree. He said, why will I do it? Unless the government brings an initiative. So what I do, I appoint one agent. His job is only to take the FIR and upload it into my blockchain setup. This agent is an oracle. So anything outside the blockchain world, I am able to bring it inside the blockchain world, and that is the role of the oracle. Right? So you can have oracles being used in multiple scenarios, for SAP to your blockchain to retail payment market data. He is an intermediary. And this is just one example of how blockchain can transform banking. Interbank transactions, remittance, smart contract, crypto banking, trade finance. Trade finance is a classical use case. Because trade finance లో ఏమవుతుంది, ఫారెక్స్ పేమెంట్ వస్తుంది, డాక్యుమెంట్ వెరిఫికేషన్ ఉండాలా, బయ్యర్ ఒరిజినల్ గా ఉండాలా, సెల్లర్ ఒరిజినల్ గా ఉండాలా, ప్రోడక్ట్ ఒరిజినల్ గా ఉండాలా, ప్రాజెక్ట్ షిప్మెంట్ అయి ఉండాలా, దాని తర్వాతనే మీకు పేమెంట్ వస్తుంది. All of these, that means there is a multiple levels of trust deficit. All of them going to a common platform, it is solved. These are the world recognized blockchain setups. Hong Kong, and in fact, to some extent, HSBC is one of the leaders in this player. If you notice, HSBC will be in almost 2 to 3 blockchain setups. And India's first blockchain payment happened through HSBC for Reliance. Payment to receipt of they were able to significantly reduce. So let's take an example. I am a customer with Standard Chartered. I need to make a payment to E.Narasimhan or NatWest Bank or whatever, right? So I will route the transaction through this from this blockchain because HSBC is a common player here. Between HKTFT blockchain and Voltron blockchain, there will be an interaction and you can make it. So maybe this payment will take 1 day, whereas internal this it may probably take just 30 minutes or 40 minutes, right? HSBC to ANZ or HSBC to Standard, right? So that's basically how in the blockchain setup it will change. India, how is it changing? So these are all few examples of states who have started adopting blockchain. Mostly it is land records. Andhra Pradesh it's blockchain database, cyber security, healthcare, registration, vehicle registration. These are the projects where it was started. Again, different scenarios, different projects have matured, some have stopped because of various reasons. But the most popular use cases land registry, farm insurance, and digital certificates. Right? So these are places where it is used. And of course, it's only evolving. Typically, where you will see in blockchain, banking is a little bit mature, whereas technology, media, telecom are, things which will slowly start adopting. Clear this? World's biggest opportunities. So you decide in life whether you want to be on the problem side or the solution side, because the moment you start approaching this sort of a thought process, your mind slowly starts thinking, hey, every problem is a solvable problem. Thank you so much for being a patient hearing. Happy to take your questions. Otherwise, we could break for lunch. Thank you.